We are Rogue Media Sports.
Yo, welcome to Keep Stacking with Riley. Thank y'all for joining me today. Let's get into the episode.
Hello, all. Welcome to the Keep Stacking podcast. I'm Riley. I'm saying a lot. I'll refrain. So what I want to do is I have Cox with me. Cox, thank you for joining the show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I was going to talk a little bit about how we met, how we became such great friends, some time at Tyler, and then I just had a couple questions based off of topics that we've talked about in the past. But I think, I don't know. I have this preconception that people will think like, oh, they're just 25-year-olds. I don't really know what to talk about. But I think you're very wise, and I think I've grown a little bit since the accident, and we've matured together a lot. So, I mean, we share a lot of similarities, and I don't know, we're boys, so I think we can have some good conversation. So, I'll kick it off, and we met at UT Tyler. We played together for 3 years, both outfielders. Mm-hmm.
Competed for the same position, really, too.
That's true.
We would compete playing time with each other.
And I would say that made us closer, where as some, it might draw them apart, but not for us. Go us there. And then we lived together the last 2 years at Tyler. I would say that first year was me, Hawkins, and Alex Bruce. Me and Hawkins went to junior college together. Yeah. And then it was me, you, Hawkins, us three again living together the last AJ. 2 years. And AJ. And then
Chad.
And then Chad the fourth year, or the last year. But I mean, we had a lot of good times at that house for sure. And we did a lot of growing up together. Like I said, a lot of maturing. I'm very grateful that like we had the chance to grow up together. Mm. So I guess what I want to start, what was your favorite moment, us living together? Or favorite moment at Tyler overall?
Honestly, some of the best times were during the summer.
Whenever
it was just, we'd wake up, go lift,
go to
go
work,
hit.
Go to work sometimes,
yeah. And then we'd work too.
What was one of your summer jobs?
I scribed in the emergency room.
At the ER.
Mm-hmm. Emergency room.
And I golf carted and waited tables one summer.
You hated waiting tables, though.
That was true.
You didn't last long with that one.
I lasted through the summer, but just my coworkers were kind of...
You thought you would like it more than you did.
It was hard. And I think that restaurant just kind of poorly managed.
It gave you more respect for...
Yeah, certainly did. But yeah, that was our time there.
Oh, and Halloween Part 1 also.
That was one of your favorite moments, too.
Favorite.
We hosted most of the parties. I think I was interested if we'd bring that up in the pod, but I mean, I'm not like ashamed that we hosted the parties, bro. I mean, like that was somebody had to host the parties, and we did it.
Yeah. Someone had to bring energy.
Yeah.
You were the energy guy too.
Thank you. I DJ'd the first Halloween party. That was quite the
memory. I have an iconic picture of you too of doing it.
I think I DJ'd for a little bit, and then I might have had too many drinks, and then I think Hawkins stepped in.
But Hawkins is a natural born. He's good at playing
DJ,
and he likes doing that, and he was kind of.
Yeah, he did a good job for sure. He did a good job taking over.
Mm-hmm. That was kind of his thing, though.
So yeah, bro, our summers for sure were great. Our Halloween parties, we were a constant, or we were probably the main host for our team. But yeah, back to that. I mean, I look back on that and I'm like, man, I was kind of wasting my time being immature and stuff, but at the same time, I was a kid.
I don't think so.
I had to grow out of that.
I think it was just like we had to get it out.
Yeah.
Too, because I think that's kind of what it's about in a way.
I think
it's like you kind of got to figure out.
That's part of our learning.
Yeah, I feel like the one of the most important parts about college is figuring out how to live on your own a little bit, just being out of the house, because you're like having to do your things. We had to learn to cook for ourselves. We didn't have a cafeteria as athletes. Like we didn't have that, so we had to like.
I feel like we did.
But we just mainly just cooked the same thing every day.
Dude, I even did that once I got out of college. I would eat chicken and rice.
Just ground beef and ground
some
turkey.
Some kind of protein and like rice and pasta was what I mostly
just
based
over
my
and
diet
over.
around. Yeah,
I still do that today.
I think that's kind of I don't know. I don't think that's the worst thing though. Having a consistent diet, and we weren't eating completely crap food either. Mm-hmm. Sick. Well, Cox, catch me up. I mean, after Tyler, we were still very close, bro. I mean, like I took that job in Indy. And you even came visited me up there for a weekend. That was awesome. I moved to Dallas.
I really liked Indy. I thought it was really cool. I think it's kind of a sleeper city.
I agree. And people I didn't experience the winter there. So
which was important.
Might change my mind about it. But I mean, I was there June to November, so it was like the perfect time
weather.
of year.
I know that was one of the hottest summers we've had in Texas. Was that?
Yes, it was.
So
So
you
I was
got
very
really
grateful
lucky.
I missed that one.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I would totally go back to India. I've even considered like moving there long term just because the weather was so good. But once again, the winter is probably not the best place.
Yeah.
But yeah, we spent some time together there. That was great. Kind of just like a testament to like how tight we were.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think none of my friends would have come up there besides you. And then Dallas, I moved to Dallas, and you were in Fort Worth, so we're still hanging out there too.
Still like 40 minutes apart.
And then my accident was in March. You were a part of that night for sure.
I got
You
the
should
phone
touch on that
call.
too.
Got the phone call, and then I didn't call your mom. It was
Jamie
Jamie.
did, yeah.
Jamie called your mom. Yeah, we'd all stayed up there till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Who called you? Hayden?
No.
Oh, Alexis called you.
Yeah.
Oh, did she call you first?
I don't know.
Or Hayden first?
I don't know who she called first.
I was on the phone with Alexis at the time of the crash.
I just know I like had a quiz the next morning, and I was like, "This phone died."
And
Let me go
well,
to
she
bed.
told me that you told her, like, dude, he's fine. Like, don't worry about it.
It's like this phone died.
Like, I was probably going to die. But, so yeah, but then, where were we at? So we were hanging out in Dallas, and I had the crash, but I mean, and you were there that whole night, probably till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I could still come up during when you're in the hospital too.
and y'all didn't even know it was me until like way early in the morning. Like y'all pretty sure it was me that had the crash, but like it wasn't confirmed that it was me because they couldn't tell y'all who it was.
It wasn't confirmed. It was like a nurse came back and kind of confirmed it to us, but she
Yeah.
was so like, oh,
not
she
cool.
was not cool.
What was she like? Or was she like acting like I was a dumb guy?
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I feel that though.
Yeah. From her perspective.
every day.
But yeah, we were just kind of talking, hanging out with her, and we were just kind of scared because we didn't know what was
Who was all in the
the
waiting room?
news. It was me, Hayden, Clayton, Jamie. Did I
Were
miss
Tyler
one?
and Courtney there?
Tyler and Courtney. Yes.
Okay. My boys.
Yeah.
And my girls.
Mhm.
Uh,
Because you and somebody just got crushed in pickleball. Hayden.
yeah, me and Hayden, bro. Tough cookies. I was on the pickleball come up too. We only scored 1 point. Anyway, so yeah, I guess catch us up after the accident. I mean, like I know what you've done, and
Mm-hmm.
you went to you did the grad school, but like, where are you at now? What's coming up in the near future? Well, we
So,
talked about
I finished
rounding out
my-
the episode with this though.
What?
We talked about rounding out the episode with this.
Yeah.
Just catch. What'd you do like from accident until now?
Still no.
Yeah.
So, and
This is
then
what I didn't want you to do. Okay, so don't do that. Thanks.
graduated in May from a master's. I got it at the Health Science Center in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And I did that to kind of help boost my med school application because that's what I'm trying to do.
Get into med school. Yeah.
And get into med school and become a physician. And I needed to do that because I knew after baseball, I knew there was going to be some time. What we were going to lead into this
Yes.
was like the identity crisis we were going to kind of have. And I knew I applied to med school right out of UT Tyler.
Yeah.
I got waitlisted, but I was kind of grateful for that because I knew mentally I was not ready to
Like,
really start
to go
that.
right into med school.
Yeah, I knew mentally. I knew I just wasn't mature enough for that. So honestly, I was kind of grateful for it
Mm-hmm.
to go and do the masters, and I grew a lot doing that masters. With that, it was kind of because a little bit of the identity crisis, like no more being a college
It
baseball
kind of
player
bought us some
anymore.
more time to find out who we were.
It did.
after that.
I felt for me, it kind of did. I had to figure out who I was in a way, and then like
For me too, with Indy, it's kind of
Mhm.
like a
living in a new city, and I
Yep.
loved Fort Worth. Fort Worth was such an awesome town, and so graduated there in May, and then I had to study and retake my MCAT, so I did that in July.
you took that. Yeah, you took that recently.
So I had to move back to Texarkana, live with the parents after being kind of on your own a little bit. So having to be back in Texarkana, living
We
with
can
the
relate
parents.
on that. Living with the
It's
parents.
a little, yeah.
fun.
It's okay.
I love it.
It's kind of annoying, but it's also like I'm pretty thankful for it because right now I'm working and I can save
Yeah.
all my money because I'm about to go 4 years without a paycheck, so I need to save as much money as I can.
For sure.
So doing that in July, took that, went really well. I went up 14 points on it, and then
Nice, dude.
went up applying, doing the whole thing, and applying to med school is just so.
Is it a bunch of
annoying.
essays?
So many essays.
That's not
It's
my
so many
forte.
essays, and I applied using 2 different application services. Thankfully, most of them saved my stuff.
Yeah.
but still you got to enter all your classes you've ever taken in college, any volunteer you've ever done, all these letters of rec you got to get together. You got to write all these essays.
It sounds
And
similar
then
to like the job
applying to
application
school
process,
like oh my god. And then I applied to like 30 some schools. So then that's like 30 something secondary essays you got to do. And it costs probably like 12. I mean, the Texas schools are like $200 flat fee to apply for all of them, but I applied to like out of state DO schools, and that was $800. So it cost me $1,000 to apply. But then here's another kicker: you got to do all the interviews, which then takes
in person?
forever. I had Tyler one in person. All the others have been online, but I just got accepted. I just got my first acceptance.
That's right.
But
Congrats,
I got to thank you. But it's a $1,500 down payment to reserve your seat, non-refundable.
That's not
Which
cool.
it's just another money grab.
Healthcare, bro.
There's just a lot of money grabs in
Yeah.
the entire process, and it's just like, what are we doing? Because it's $300 to take your MCAT, all the prep, all this, and it's making it.
You're paying a lot of money to make a lot of money later. You gotta work.
But it's also
you gotta
so
wait a long time.
yeah. But it sucks for people who don't have that ability. Where like, thankfully, my parents are cool with me.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Like
Only so many people could become a doctor.
because
They need
of
the
that.
support that you have at least. Yeah.
Because I have a lot of support. Because I have my two older sisters who really encouraged me doing it, and they were like, "Yay!" Like I'm already working in these healthcare fields right now. Like it's something you should do and take the time and do it. So they've motivated me a lot to do it, and I'm thankful for it.
Bro, you touched on our awareness levels, and that's one thing we've always connected on. Is I feel like I'm very self-aware. I know you think you are, and I think you are too, and I know you think I am too. Awareness.
One of the most important qualities a human can
so
possess.
grateful
Just feel.
Yeah.
Just the word feel. I think this is the most important word I learned while playing college baseball.
Yeah. One way
Feel.
I think we displayed that was like towards the end of our baseball careers, like we were like, we got 5 more months vacation, brother. We really got to live it up.
Yeah, we gotta live it up. And we knew this was like this is going to be the easiest time of our life.
Yeah.
The end of
But
our
the
college
hardest part's
career,
probably coming.
and we knew.
Yeah.
But I think that was some of our best part.
I'm glad to recognize it because we did. I wouldn't take anything back, bro. We had a great time in Tyler.
I
Not
wouldn't
just like
either.
parties and stuff, but like I mentioned before, we connected great. I made some lifelong relationships,
Yes,
lifelong friendships.
and I always can't wait to like see all the guys and
Yeah,
stuff too.
alumni, like our last alumni day was great.
Mhm.
And like I'm a huge advocate for college sports now. Like it's even though like I didn't have great success on the field, and that's doesn't even matter now. Like
I felt like I should have. Like, I was honestly like I should be pretty happy with my career, but like I also am not at the same time. But I am very thankful for all the relationships I made.
Yeah, and that's just shows like that's what it's really all about is the friends you make, how much you care about people. It doesn't really matter like how many homers you hit or
And the journey of it.
Yeah.
Because we want to talk on that too. Just like
yeah.
your journey into you playing and how you got to Tyler.
I'll start with me. Okay.
Because you went.
Mine's pretty simple. So I had one offer out of college, played in Navarro College for 2 years. That second year was COVID year, so it bought me a whole another year of school of playing eligibility. After Navarro, I had one more scholarship offer to UT Tyler. Took it. I don't think there was a whole lot there. I mean, I'm once again like I feel like everything aligned great, and as far as like what was supposed to happen in my life, thank God for that. And I think he put the people in front of me that I needed. You, other friends, honestly, Barden too, our character coach at Tyler
Robert.
was a blessing. I'm so glad I met him and know him. And we had great staff too. So very grateful that I ended up at both those. And like I said, I didn't have like a super successful on the field playing career, but it doesn't even matter now. And
No one cares what your average
yeah,
is.
especially where we played. And I mean, I think I'll touch on this real quick. Sometimes like D2 baseball gets, because like, oh, you didn't play D1, you're probably not that good. But that's also like kind of false narrative. Like we had so many D1 bounce backs on our side, including you. So it's not really like it's still playing at such a high level, which I don't think people recognize that, but I mean, we were playing at a high level.
Well, after COVID, it really made the teams a lot better. Because our last game against Angelo, it's like both the starters were throwing 95.
Yeah.
Logan.
Wait,
and then that
region?
other guy. Yeah, the regional.
The very last game?
Yeah, the very last game.
Yeah, the Angelo guy was good. Okay, yeah. How about your college journey? How'd you get started? I
always
touching your
knew-
high school career too, because you were in high school too.
Yeah, okay. So I always kind of knew I was going to play a college sport. My sister ran track and field. So I knew that was kind of my thing. And like she was really smart and she went and she got her doctorate in nursing, which I wish I was alive. Well, I mean, I was alive, but I was just so young and to see and appreciate how good my sister was. Because she ran track at Arkansas. I think may have the most national championships in track. So like
At Arkansas?
yeah,
Wow, cool. Then.
like she went to like the legit school.
Was she a sprinter or long distance?
She did she was a heptathlete, so she ran, jumped, threw. She did it all, bro.
Damn. Cool.
Yeah, and then they dated. Growing up, they had boyfriends who were one was a professional baseball player, the other one played college baseball. So like I was kind of grown up in like baseball is what I wanted to do, but I was also pretty good at football, but I just hated football practice. I loved baseball practice. I knew baseball was going to be my thing.
And we both don't like super heavy contact stuff.
I don't really like people touching me.
Yeah.
That's why I knew football wasn't all the way for me. I couldn't do 5 years or 4 or 5 years of practice of it. So my junior year, I started getting a little bit some text and stuff from schools. Wichita, yeah, I went to Pleasant Grove in Texarkana, which is historically a pretty good baseball program. And then got junior year, got some calls or some text. And then my junior year, we lost in the state semifinals. And then my plan was just to take a break for a little bit, start summer ball. But then Wichita texted me, was like, hey, are you going to play the summer ball game? And my original thought was going to be no, I wasn't going to play because we just finished state.
Right.
Because we finished that, I think the state game was like on Wednesday or Thursday. And then that game was on a Friday or Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, I didn't want to do it. But then he was like, hey, I'm going to be here. You're going to be there. And I'm like,
obviously I'm going now.
I'm going now. And first at bat, I think third pitch I saw, hit a homer.
Oh, didn't know that story.
Yeah, hit a homer. And I hadn't hit a homer since I was 14 and I was 17.
Damn, dude, that's kind of meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Exactly. So I was thinking like, yeah. And like this game that they watched me was one of like, dude, I got to show every tool, really. Yeah. Like I hit for the bags. I went from first to home. I got walked and someone hit a double and I could score from first to home. And then I played pretty good defense, played in center. I got to show off my arm one time. Yeah. And then I did it, and I had a really good game. And I talked to the scout a little bit. And
you talked to him after the game in person?
Before and after.
Oh, cool.
The game. So, it makes you feel cool.
Yeah, dude, that is so cool.
It's like the most clout.
Honestly,
It makes you feel, especially in high school, like you feel so cocky in it. Like,
you were kids,
Yeah, you feel so cool. And then got an offer a couple days later, went on a visit, and was blown away on the visit, bro. Yeah. Because I was like, finally. Didn't
you go to KU too?
No, we just like hung out at KU.
Okay.
We just hung out at KU in junior college. So went on the visit a couple of weeks later, committed, and that was right before my senior year of football started. And then we had a really good senior year of football.
Did y'all win it?
We won a state in senior year. So I was on a pretty awesome hot streak there.
Dude, yeah.
Got to commit, played good football season. So went.
Did y'all win the state championship in baseball in senior year too?
No, we got beat out by Argyle by Clearman.
Was that
the year they went undefeated? They were the best team in the nation. I don't remember Clearman exactly.
Okay. Was he there though? He was there though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Every time we played him, my sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Yeah, Clearman was a former teammate for those who don't know. He played with us at Tyler,
and he was my throwing partner.
Ah, yeah, he was. Mm-hmm. Lefty. He throws it so pretty. Go ahead.
And then so at Wichita, and I kind of quickly realized like I have a really strong work ethic, and I knew it, like that was my thing. It was like I was told the coach the first day, I was like, I'm going to work as hard as anyone you ever met, and that's kind of my thing.
I've noticed that too.
I work really hard. I was going to study well and be like Mr. Hustle.
Yeah.
But I quickly realized that like my skill level was not there.
Like up to the college players you're playing with now.
Yes.
Yep. Felt that too.
Yes. Felt that really quickly, and like I would work so hard, and like I would be hitting all the time. I would get like shout outs from the coach, like, hey, you're
obviously putting in the work.
I'm putting in the work, and then I'm nothing showing for it. And it was just so frustrating over and over. And, you start to question yourself if you really belong.
Yeah.
And then that, because I was good at football, and I was like, dang it, dude, like I should have done football. And I had that.
And you're 19, 18 at this time, yeah.
At 19.
Like, did I just make a bad decision?
Yeah, exactly. So doing that, struggling. So I got to play in the our first fall game against Nebraska. I started that one in center, batted ninth. And then played against Arkansas. It was right after Arkansas got second in the College World Series when they dropped that fly ball on right.
Yeah.
So I played against them. I didn't start that game, but I came in and played a lot of innings. I don't think I got a hit in either of those. I was so just like wide-eyed, like scared to death. And like I had an okay fall, but like I didn't have a good enough fall to play. Like, and I knew that, and I was aware of that. But like, I just in the exit meeting, they're like, "Yeah, we'll see how it goes." And then like, I worked really hard in the off season, in the spring. I didn't.
Did you redshirt?
That's where,
okay,
that's where it comes. In the spring, I didn't before like the preseason before you play.
Yeah,
the little couple games. I did not do well in those and did not deserve a starting spot. And I kind of was aware of that, but you're kind of a freshman, you don't realize. But in the second game of the year, I went into base run.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Okay, go ahead.
Boom, burned my red shirt, and it's like
you burn it just by pitch running one time.
Yeah, pitch running. But now in football, you can play 4 games and keep it.
Yeah.
And went in, burned it, and then like a week later, I get an at bat, and like that was it. And it was just so like, it was so annoying, and it was just a weird year at Wichita too, because the coach ended up getting fired, and it was just a weird play. It was just So
and like whenever you're first coming into a program like that,
because they had 11, but when I was going in, they had 11 guys drafted. That was the second most in college baseball.
Did y'all go to the World Series that year? Like, were y'all that good?
No, dude, they didn't make a regional.
Oh,
but they had 11 guys drafted.
Damn, that's crazy.
So the coach was on the hot seat.
Yeah.
And
how do you have that many good players and not win? Of course.
Yeah, so that was definitely like you could feel the tension.
Yeah.
And
so how'd you leave and what was the next school you went to?
So my scholarship got ripped. Didn't play. Got ripped.
Was it like? Was it in the exit meeting after the spring season? They ripped it. Okay.
Yes. And then, I was super emotional. I was like, "Yo, like I worked so hard for you," and like blah blah blah. And they're like, "I know, like this one was gonna be tough."
Yeah.
And super emotional. You don't know what you're gonna do. And then I was also recruited by Seminole State. As a junior college that a lot of people from Texarkana went to.
Pretty recognizable.
One of the coaches that coached there was now at Cali, and that was an hour south of Wichita. So like on my way home from Wichita, I stopped and visited Cali.
Yep.
Like
really well known junior college.
Yeah, they had gone to the World Series past 2 or 3 years. Yep. Stopped there. Was like, okay, yeah, they have an indoor facility and an insane weight room.
They're legit, yeah.
Yeah, very good locker
room. It's not. What am I trying to look for? It's not very regular that a junior college has that many.
Has all that
stuff, all the access for the players.
Mm-hmm.
My junior college was kind of a joke. Our weight room was everybody on the campus had access to it, and
this weight room was insane.
Yeah,
it was so nice.
It was
one of the
athletes,
nicest.
Right?
It was nicer than Tyler. It was nicer than Wichita when I was there. Wichita's upgraded since then, but it was nicer then. And so I saw that, and I was like, okay, boom. There's like they're excited for me to be there, and they're like, yeah, here's your offer. Here you go.
Easy
and I was
choice to go there. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm going here. Did that, very excited for it, and then so ended up going there in fall.
That first year there was COVID year.
First year was COVID there. So fall, I did okay. Didn't necessarily earn a starting spot. Thought I earned a starting spot, but I still worked very hard.
Yeah,
doing my thing, and they just said, hey, if you come out, do really well, you'll be the starter. Okay, and didn't start the first game, but I came in and I think I had a big RBI. And that series, it was against Northeast.
Okay, Bruce.
And I faced some buddies and stuff, and I had a really good game. Even that series, I think I had a walk-off.
Yeah,
walk-off hit, big walk-off hit. And then I was playing really well, and it's like, okay, here we go. Like I got momentum. Like I know I'm in my spot, and then I get hurt.
Oh,
I hurt my hand.
Oh,
like hamate.
Yeah,
right there swinging.
That's what Clearman hurt too. Funny, he's coming up twice now. Go ahead.
So I hurt that mid swing. I heard it pop, and I was like,
"What was that pain like?"
Well, mine didn't break. He said told him I heard it pop and it swelled up, and I couldn't really hold the bat.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. I didn't understand what it was, but he's like, they're swelling in there. CT was clear, but I couldn't hold my bat. But the adrenaline of the game, I could finish the game, but the next day I couldn't play.
Yeah.
So I finished that game and I came back and I can't play. So now I'm out 2 weeks. And prior to me getting hurt, I was like top 3 or top 5 in batting average in the country in junior college. So I was doing really well, and it was like,
do you have any jacks?
Here we go again. No, dude, my first.
You didn't really start hitting jacks till later in your career.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how'd you go to Tyler? How'd you get to Tyler?
Okay, COVID.
Yes.
Boom.
So that season's cut short. Your first
cut short, and I didn't. I have a couple people talking to me.
Yeah.
For example, Little Rock texted me. They ghosted me twice actually, and then some Illinois school. I don't know, Southern Illinois. I don't know. One of those.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, well, maybe like one of my best friends, Ben, was at A&M. I was like, I'll just apply to A&M and see if I can walk on there.
Oh, okay, walk on.
Got denied because I didn't take Calc 1 and 2. And I was like, they're like, your GPA's fine, but you don't have this. You don't have this class, so you can't come. And I was like, okay, well, awesome. And then I got ghosted by all those other schools.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, dang, I guess I'm just gonna be done with baseball. And I was like super sad about it. I was like, damn, like I feel like there was so much left in the tank. And,
For sure, yeah. And you had just been playing so well.
I just got done playing well, and I feel like I made the good decision. And like I mentioned to you earlier, I listened to that song by Cody Johnson, Dear Rodeo.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like tearing up a little bit, and I was like, "Dude, I'm not ready to give it up. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but maybe I'll just have to like go to Texas A&M, Texarkana, and just be a student."
You would have shredded there.
And then T. White finally texted me a couple of days later, and no, he called me, but I didn't answer the call because I thought they were still D3, and I was like, "Dude, I don't want to go somewhere and not have a scholarship." And then it was like D2, and he was like, "Okay, we offer scholarships." He told me that he told me that they're opening a med school, and I just emailed all the coaches in our area that had a med school.
Yeah,
I emailed a bunch of coaches, didn't hear anything back, and got there, did a Zoom visit because it was COVID.
Was it TY and Porsche?
TY and Porsche.
Nice.
So I didn't get any one of these from Porsche. You know?
Oh yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
So I did the Zoom, and I really liked the guys, and I was like, it's 2 hours from the house. I was tired of being 6 hours in Kansas because of the freezing cold.
Yep.
I was like, all right, let's do it. And we got there, and we met in the summertime. Or no,
that was all of our
August.
first years there,
Yeah, all of our first years there in August. And there we go.
The rest is history.
Mm-hmm. Pull up on the notes app.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's some stuff in there you want to talk about. Oh, yeah, let's talk about the identity after baseball. So, like, after and like, I was essentially buying time for myself.
This is after Tyler.
After Tyler, yeah.
After graduation.
Fast forward back. We're done with Tyler. I took that job. I'd heard about this job. It was a Metasource's sales job. One of my friends worked there, so I did the interviews, took the job. It's pretty easy. And then, but the whole idea of why I took it was I had 6 months in Indy. It was a training period where I lived rent free and made money.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I like the job, I continue. If I don't like it, I can quit. Yeah. So I was buying more time for myself, just like I have done my whole life. I thought about that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But like once I finished the training and like I knew I wasn't gonna continue with that job much longer. The sales process was difficult, and we were like a very new company that nobody recognized in the Dallas area, so it was difficult. And like I could have stuck it out, but I wasn't passionate about healthcare staffing. So
healthcare staffing.
I made some great friends with that job, which is the reason why God led me to that job, I believe. And then but like once I got back to Dallas, I was really struggling. I was like, man, baseball's over. That's not me anymore. I wasn't even a really great baseball player, so that's nobody recognized me for that anymore. So what am I gonna do to like have purpose in the world? I remember one day specifically, like I had started journaling too a lot after in Indy and all that, and I was like
morning or night time journal.
Dude, sporadic as hell.
Sporadic.
Like I counted the entries I made. I made 11 entries for like 1 year. So like it was just when I was like pretty much hitting like not
was
rock
it only
bottom.
whenever you're at rock bottom?
Kind of, because all the entries were like, dude, you gotta do better. Like here's the plan for the week. Here's what
But
you're not gonna do.
Highlights, but never any highlights though.
Damn, I guess there wasn't any highlights. I think that's. And I talked about that with a neuropsychologist at Tier 2. Like I'm very good at being the critic. So like I drew the picture for you, like the devil and the angel on your shoulder.
Yeah.
The devil. I'm very good at being that one. Like I can tell myself what I've been doing wrong or what can be better.
But not being able to like give yourself grace. I'm like, dude, you've been doing this really good.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Don't give myself any credit. So I mean, I'm learning that and I'm working past it. But anyway, just that time in Dallas, that short time before the accident, like I was trying to find my way. Essentially, my whole plan was pressure washing. I was going to start pressure washing and have that be my income, make enough money there so I can quit this job. And then, so I can quit this job and then figure it out from there, buying myself more time again. And I had 2 jobs in Dallas that I pressure washed for, made a few $100, like under 1,000 for 2 jobs. And it took me like 8 hours. So it was going to work.
Dude, you can make so much money.
And dude,
it was what we did in high school.
Yeah. And I got inspired to pressure wash from Cox. But like, dude, in the hospital, I was like getting reached out to people in Dallas. Like, hey, can you come pressure wash? I'm like, brother, I am paralyzed now. This is like, what are the chances that people are reaching out to me to
like
pressure
now.
wash for them? But I mean, but it's kind of nice to know that could have worked. Anyway, but like, so the accident happened. Like, I'm still pretty much in this phase of like finding myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do I want to do? What's my purpose?
Trying to figure out what you need to be doing.
I think you've always had like a good grasp of what you want to do. And that's why I kind of admire you so much, because like you've always been very disciplined, very good work ethic. Anytime like we come home after practice, like most of the time you were studying before we did anything, like to round the night out, watch a movie or anything like that. And I would have more chill time because I mean I was a business guy, so it was pretty easy. But that's just one thing I admire you for, brother.
Thank
Good
you.
job there. But yeah, do you think you've struggled with that as well, being out of
Identity
baseball?
crisis?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I even made it known to like the people in my rush program. I was like, guys, I'm going through an identity crisis. I don't know who I am. I put way too much of myself in baseball because
We had to, though. Like, for us to be or even try to be successful or get drafted, you had to devote your life to that. At what point did you realize you weren't going to get drafted?
Summer ball after my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
I was like, probably not gonna happen, but I'm still gonna at least put everything I have into it.
Dude, I think mine might have.
But like even after Cali, like I had a scout text me.
Yeah.
A Philly scout, and I was like, I'm not good enough to do that. I knew better. It was just like I was tall and I was fast.
Yeah, so you fit the picture.
So I fit the picture, and like the one time he saw me, I hit a bunch of homers in BP.
Yeah.
And it just got lucky, and I was like, he's not gonna. I'm committed to UT Tyler right now.
Yeah.
He's not gonna. They're not gonna like waste a.
What's funny about that is like you kind of know as a player, like you know how good you are, and you.
Mm-hmm. But then you get on hot streaks,
Right?
And you're like,
"Oh,
how good am I?
Am I that good?" No.
Like Clearman towards our last year. Oh my
dude,
god!
yeah.
Clearman third time coming up. It was the
perfect
craziest
example, though.
thing
He
I've
went
ever seen in my
bananas.
life. He went bananas, and I was like, "This dude is Jesus."
He was
when
hitting
plays.
homers. And he's a small guy, like a guy my size is like hitting multiple jacks, not in one game, but
Like
multiple jacks in a
impressive
weekend.
homers.
Yeah.
Impressive homers.
Bombs.
So, and then that thing and going through the identity crisis, I knew I put so much of myself into baseball because whenever I go into something like I woke up for it.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, I wake up, I got to work out. All right, I got to eat this. I got to go throw. Now I got to go hit. And now I got to do this. And like,
We had a good regimen, especially our last year, but we were
I was
dialed.
very disciplined in what I do. Like I'm very routine based.
Yeah.
And like, I like having my routine and like doing my thing to try and improve because that was
pretty much
my
the
edge.
key, yeah.
I feel like that was my edge was that I was
100%
going
was.
to work harder.
Yeah.
But maybe my skills weren't as there. But like I was going to work and at least put in the time for it.
Yeah.
So like I put so much of myself into it that I knew when it was over, I was going to have a hard time. So trying to make the transition into being like, okay, college baseball player, now I got to focus on
Med school stuff. You think that was your identity?
yeah. Well, yeah. Like it was like, all right, now I gotta fully put in school and trying to get into medical school.
Yeah.
And like I talked about this earlier, being a athlete in college, like we really all we wore was sweats and workout clothes. And I was like, one thing that I feel like has helped me was just not dressing like that anymore. Where I was like, all right.
Just
Let's
a little more professional.
Yeah, let me
like a man.
start dressing like a man now or something, or at least something a little bit better. And I feel like that has helped a little bit. And just the time.
Yeah.
After a year went by, I felt a lot more confident in who I was and kind of knew who I was a little bit more and knew kind of what I brought to the table. And I wasn't just the athlete guy.
Yeah.
Because in class, that's the way it was even too. Like I was just the athlete guy. So, I mean, it took some time and I knew it was going to. And I talked to one of my cousins, she played softball in college, and she was like, the first year is really rough. But after the first year, you kind of find it and you figure it out.
Dude, I bet, especially your classes being the athlete guy, because you're like in medical, like biology type. You majored in biology, right?
Yes.
like there's no athletes in there.
You're not very many.
Sticking out like a sore thumb in there.
I was sticking out like that. And it's crazy. There's not a lot of, or UT Tyler, there wasn't a lot of guys in there. It was
In
mainly a lot
biology,
of women.
like in biology program, yeah.
It was not a lot of guys.
We had a bunch of nurses at our school too. Do they take biology? No way.
They do like a different pathway, different like kind of thing. They do their own thing. But
yeah,
that was a difficult time for me, and it's still taking me time to kind of find myself, and that's what's at least kind of nice right now. Like, this is one of the first times I've had a real break.
Yeah.
And it's so nice because it's always like, because my master's program was very difficult. Yeah. Like, I had a very hard time in it, and it's just go, go, go. Like, I was in it and like, all right, I got to get good grades. So like, I wake up, have my study time, have my schedule, do my thing. And it's just you're on the hamster wheel and you just go, 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 go. And sometimes you don't have a lot of time to kind of think and do things for yourself. And then now that I'm done with the MCAT, I have an acceptance from school, still waiting on to hear some others from other schools. And I'm going to have some actual free time now. It's like, I just go to work and then I get off and then I can chill. And I can do whatever else I like.
You're pretty much soaking up the last 6 months like we were.
Exactly what I'm doing. And that's what's also, I know.
Yeah.
I know that.
Now it's really coming, though, for you.
Now it's really coming. Because once it's like school and then like residency and then like, I'm an adult.
Yeah, you're kind of
like, I'm going to have to like take care of people.
Yeah.
And like have a family.
Hopefully we can have some time to hang out, dude. You think so?
Maybe.
Okay. I'll make it happen. Dude, but yeah, for me, a very similar path. I think my accident kind of came at sometimes I think it's a good time, sometimes it's the worst time. But like what I needed, I think, was some time to be still. And I definitely had that now. I don't move. So, I mean, and I think had I not gotten injured, I would have spent a lot of time trying to figure out girls, how am I going to make money? How am I going to appear valuable to like people in my community? Mm-hmm. And I had based a lot of I had really wanted to get involved in a community in Dallas and try to start structuring my life around Christ. And I don't think I would have, though. There's so many distractions for people our age, bro. Mm-hmm. And
it's so hard.
At times I'm grateful because the distractions have been pretty much taken out.
Consume you. They consume you.
Dude, they do. And especially girls and going out and drinking. And, I mean, and we talked about this in the driveway. We, like, sometimes for me and you, like, that stuff comes easier than it does for other guys. And it's like a blessing.
Everyone still deals with
the same.
And you still want to, like, tap into it.
Yeah.
Whenever, after you're working really hard and you're like, dude, I need a break.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, I think this accident kind of came at a good time for me, and I think sometimes I think it's meant to be because I've had so much time to spend with God, and like I don't think I would have spent that time with Him had the injury not happened. And I feel like I'm being called to use this podcast, and like I don't really have much of a platform honestly on social media, so I don't think I'll use that. But like I want to talk about some stuff that's hard to talk about, and like people our age don't talk about God, bro, like never. Mm-hmm. Which I mean that's fine. It's kind of uncomfortable.
It is kind of an uncomfortable conversation.
Because like I imagine, like if we were sitting in the backyard having a fire, like no, we're not bringing up God out there, bro. But that's not. I feel like I don't like beat myself up for that because like we're just guys being dudes.
Yeah.
But I think what I want to do, what I think I'm being called to do, is like maybe talk more about that stuff, and just get comfortable being uncomfortable, bro.
Yeah.
And so maybe that could lead into my next topic. One thing that we've talked about in the past that I have done a little bit of research on my own is evolution. Whenever you've brought it up to me in the past, it's like we haven't really like sat down and talked about it. You're just like, yeah, I believe in evolution in the Bible. I'm like, oh, cool.
How do you do both?
Yeah. but like once, like that point right there, like I asked my dad the other day, like, what do you think about evolution? He's like, I don't think it was real. Like there's no way we came from monkeys. And I think there's some occasions where like, especially Christians and people in the world just like see a topic that's a little bit too hard to understand or too complex.
So you're just like,
nah,
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Exit out of my brain.
Like, I feel like it's part of our due diligence to like investigate a little bit and like if what we believe is what we believe, like, why do you believe it?
Exactly. Give me a reason as to why you believe something. Exactly. And I want you to be able to explain it.
I kind of tested my dad in that moment, and then I've done some research, and pretty much from what I can conclude, I think you're right. I think evolution and the Bible are both accurate, but I'll turn it over to you. Like, what have you learned about evolution? Because you're a big science guy. You know, you're about to throw some big words at us. But why do you think evolution in the Bible are real?
You know, like I wanted to like, no, it can't happen. Like it can't be a thing. Like I can't be a Christian and believe that evolution was a thing. But then you know, in taking science classes, you see it and you're like, here's the data.
How do they introduce it in class?
I mean, you do like a genetics class and kind of some of that, but really my big thing was a bioevolution class.
Okay.
Where like it really talked about it. Where like you have the evolution of like, well, you just see it like within animals, and then they kind of bring it up in people and how it goes and do all that. And like I was doing this class, and I'm like, you know, you're like having to take tests and like do papers on it and like doing a bunch of research on it, and you're like, dang, it's really hard to
There's some
not
evidence.
agree with this. Like this is kind of like like
you're getting
I'm
your
a Christian.
faith
I'm a
tested,
God.
bro.
Yeah, exactly. My faith is being tested, and I was out with Andrew. We were like volunteering at this thing, and I had a conversation with Andrew, and I was like, Andrew, you're a man of faith. You're a man of science. I'm struggling with this. What's your take on it? And he's like,
dude, good for you. That's awesome. Okay.
And I just kind of asked him about it, and I was like, whoa, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
It had, like that. So, and what he kind of explained to me, and the way I have to view it, is that God kind of with his hand made it.
Okay. Yeah.
He kind of pushed it in the way he wanted.
Yeah.
Way he wanted it to go. And sometimes I like to think of it as like did he do it as like a trial and error?
I mean,
just be like, let's see what works best here.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to create human beings, mankind, in my own image. Let me figure out what is the perfect image, and let me figure out what it is, and I'm going to put a bunch of things in nature that have to coexist together, and whenever the strongest outcome comes. Because his time, he doesn't scale to time.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't.
Because in Genesis,
our
it's like
version of time is not what his is.
It's like, because a lot of Genesis and even like what they say in evolution, it kind of lines up. And what is like,
I think
he
said he
days.
created Adam and Eve out of dust.
Yeah.
So it's very tough to. I mean, and I didn't want to like debate the topic because I don't know near enough about it.
I don't know. That's what it's like. I don't know enough about it to really talk about it. But
I mean, I think why
he's like the heavens on earth, and it's like he did it in 7 days or whatever, and his 7 days aren't our 7 days. Those 7 days could have been 70 million years.
Yeah.
Like his 7 days aren't our 7 days. So
there's so many questions I can't wait to ask.
Exactly. That's the thing I talk about. I think about too. Is like I want to like know all these things, and looking at it's like the difference between us and apes. It's like the percentage of our DNA is so similar, and it's like they just don't have like some of these muscles on our legs over here.
What were you saying about the mitochondria earlier?
Oh, I was like so one of they knew the mitochondria kind of lived outside of the cell for a period of time because they have their own DNA.
Okay, mitochondria do. Okay,
the
powerhouse of the cell.
Correct. Good job. So that was like one of the things they've learned as well, and they can trace that all the way back to one single ancestor in Africa, like one woman. Because
no way.
Yeah, they've traced it. That's why I learned in that bio class. So you're a little bit more of your mother.
Yeah,
because you get
which all makes no sense. I mean, we're in their stomach for 9 months.
Yeah. So that's one thing. So like, tell your mom thanks for your mitochondrial DNA.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of brought that topic up because we had discussed in the past briefly, but once again,
especially at night too, like whenever we're just like hanging out, like if you really want to talk about wild stuff.
That's why I asked you on the pod too, because like we've had discussions like that, or like we've talked. I don't know,
like what, friends, like what if it's like this? Yeah. Because and too, like whenever we'd be like in plant biology, they talk about like coevolution and how plants would make berries and just for us or animals consume? To eat and then poop out into the ground, and then now they get seeds, and now that's how they get new plants. And it's
I mean, I bring that up just because like, well, not debating it, but like if you're like, I feel like at every point, especially people are like getting
your
their
faith is tested. Yeah. Yes.
So like if you're maybe it's not evolution, it's probably something else.
Yeah. That was just an example.
Just like take some time to dig around, learn about it. Like if it's what you care about, I mean, it should be what you care about is have a relationship with God, I think. But I think it's our due diligence as people to like, but why do you believe what you believe?
And have a known factor and
Yeah.
kind of have a reason. Because I feel like my biggest thing is I enjoy knowing that somebody's looking out for me.
Yeah.
And like, as long as I'm doing kind of what I need to be doing, I'm working hard. I'm trying to care for people. I'm trying not to be too self-consumed or trying to, be caring for other people, pray a little bit, do my thing. And I feel like that if I'm doing those things, I feel like he's going to push me along the path that I need to go. As long as I'm doing my part, I know that he's looking out after me, taking me where I need to go. And even if it's all made up, it makes you feel a little bit better at night. But I don't think it's made up. I think it's real.
And at the end of the day, I feel like if you believe Jesus resurrected from the dead, like you're going to heaven. If you believe that he walked the earth and is God, you're going to go to heaven. But like that's Jesus knocking on the door.
That's the bare minimum.
Yeah. That's Jesus knocking on the door, I think. It's like whenever you're like, well, evolution or whatever other topic, and you're getting tested, I think the Holy Spirit like kind of trying to continue to like learn more about it so you can actually believe
that's
more.
The thing is like I think that's what makes me believe in God more is even doing like some of that stuff because it's learning more and more about the body is it's too complicated.
For it just being
we had a professor one time because I was sitting. You remember Preston? We were sitting. Yeah, we were sitting in one of our professors. He was a Christian. That he was the only one, probably one of the only ones. He dropped a little tad bit in there. He goes, "Why is it like that?" And he goes, "Because that's how it was made." And we're like, "Yes, that's why it works." And it's like it was designed to be this way, and it's like. We have we got little cells that they're communicating through little signals, and they're like, and we got, dude, I could just go on all day, and it's just, it uses all these big words that Andrew Huberman uses, but.
Oh, yeah. I try to listen to Huberman sometimes, but he does talk a little too big for me sometimes.
He talks about it.
I think I'm trying to model my pod after Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan, though. Because, they have pretty, just
you get Jamie pull something up. Jamie pulled that up. His little computer.
Oh yes, guy. Dude! I asked them if they could do that here.
Pull that shit up.
He said they could. He said they could I could drop a link and then the viewer could either watch it then, pause and watch it then, or figure it out. But I really want to incorporate some of that into my pods too. But yeah, brother. I mean that's what I want to talk about. What do you think you're gonna do after today? Like where are you going? We've kind of talked about it a little bit. What do you got going on coming up in the next 6 months?
So figure out where I'm gonna go for school and
then you have the one med school right now, but you could go to UT Tyler.
Yeah, so I got an interview this Friday for the school that I did my master's at. It's that same school. And then those are so that school and UT Tyler are the only schools I've heard back from Texas. And they do like a match day in February. So I would sometime mid-February, I'll kind of find out then. So you rank those schools. And then I've heard back from the school in Jonesboro. So
that one's locked though.
That one's I'm in. Yeah, exactly. So I'm in, and I'm still waiting to hear back from the other ones because they're a little bit cheaper.
Lit, brother. What do you want to do? Like whenever you go to Jonesboro, I guess you just get an apartment in Jonesboro and live by yourself.
I hope I live by myself.
You never lived by yourself yet, dude. It's awesome. You're gonna
love that.
In Fort Worth, you didn't?
No, I didn't. But like my roommate Cade was gone a lot, so I was kind of
felt like it.
It felt like it, but yeah, I am very excited to live by myself and just especially right now living with the parents, bro. I love them. I have great parents. I have so much to be thankful for. But we get on each other's nerves.
That's just natural.
Very natural.
Well, brother, I think that's it for me. Thank you for joining in,
dude. Thank you for
love you like a brother. Thank you for coming, brother.
Of course, dude. Love you, dude.
Cool. All right. I was gonna do a quick monthly update for y'all. At first, I was like, I don't really want to talk more about me, but there's also people listening that I know want a monthly update, so let's just do it. I just spent pretty much the whole month of October at Tier inpatient rehab in Houston. The main focus there was manual chair, me self-catheterizing, which is essentially like I have a full-time Foley bag right now, so that's a big step in me getting this Foley bag out. Worked on dressing myself, strength training, of course, bed mobility, like how am I going to roll in bed, how am I going to maybe even get myself up out of bed one day into my own chair. It's all long-term goals, but that was like I needed to lay that foundation for that. Anything else from Tier? Nah, manual chair, bed mobility, dressing. Those are three, and self-cathing. That was the main three. Once I've been back from Tier, I've been in Waco for the month of November. Back at home. Really want to get the pod rolling again. I got my manual chair delivered yesterday. I'm in my power chair today just because my breathing can sometimes be difficult. And with me being so upright in the manual chair, it's just hard for me to talk for a long duration. So manual chair is big. Been pulling for that for a while now, so I'm glad that's here. I'm getting the pacemaker removed on December 11th. It's not painful, but it's infected in some way, so it's got to come out. I shouldn't have to get a new pacemaker. Should just be able to get this out and be normal again, which would be great. After the pacemaker, December 20th, I'm getting some Botox in my bladder. Essentially will help me help me to self-cath and get the Foley bag out. Honestly, I might drop some on my Instagram, might drop a thing for y'all to ask more questions so I can be more prepared for this segment. But like I said, monthly, might use this time to answer questions from y'all on my Instagram. We'll see. That should be it though. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good day.
Thank y'all for listening. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you have somebody that you think would be a good guest, or you'd be a good guest, or you have questions for me, just shoot me a DM. Once again, thank you guys. Y'all keep stacking. Peace.